Hey guys, welcome to the Hope That Heals You with me, Marie Nazria, where I talk about everything I've experienced, gone through, any tips I have that can help you on your journey. Today I want to talk about a very important topic to me, which is anxiety. Everybody has it, number one. The most healing thing I ever heard about anxiety when I got it at 24 years old, and aggressively, might I add, it changed my life completely. I really struggled for many years. And I don't want to get too deep into my experience about it necessarily, but I do want to share a couple things that can help you on your journey. One of the most shocking and amazing things I learned about anxiety is that everybody has it. Now, we can think that we're the only ones that have it the way we have it, bad, etc., but it's not true. Anyone throughout their life is going to have it at some point. I remember someone very dear to me having their first panic attack at 65, and I've never seen an adult male so scared in their life, and I was at that time like a 27-year-old who was recovering or healing from anxiety, from severe anxiety, and I was able to assist them and let them know that they weren't alone. So I think something very comforting is that you're not alone. We all have different ways that we deal with it. The more we push it away, the stronger it shows up. The way I look at anxiety is something that's happened that scares us or that worries us, and we've either shoved it down or haven't dealt with it, and it is really trying to let you know that there is something to worry about. Now, usually it's very rational, the fears that we have. And the issue with anxiety is if we keep feeding it or neglecting it, it gets stronger and it can get worse. And my big tip is to get help, to get support, to be open with family and loved ones that you trust, to seek out friends who've had anxiety. I remember when I got it for the first time, my therapist telling me everyone has anxiety. And I was like, no, that's not true. And she was like, yes, everybody gets it. So I remember I would start going out and asking strangers, do you have anxiety by any chance? And some people looked at me like I was crazy, and that's fine. But a lot of people were like, yeah, of course I have anxiety. Like, who doesn't? So I think it really helps to not feel like a leper in those moments, or like feel like you are the only one going through anxiety. And anxiety can show up for millions of reasons, whatever that might be. I got it at 25 because I hadn't dealt and learned and had enough tools to be my age, and I regressed. And long story short, I basically locked myself in my apartment for almost 2 years. And it was a really hard time while doing therapy 3 days a week. And I also got on medication. Now, I'm no longer on medication, but I have to say, and I have to advocate for medication, because I'm not somebody who believes in medication necessarily, like for everything and taking high doses of things so we don't feel anything, not at all. But I do believe in having a plan, in getting the right psychopharmacologist to help you, and to be really mindful of your journey on the medication and have a goal, have an end date. I was on an antidepressant for 1 year, and I remember in that 1 year, first of all, the medication helped me a lot. It gave me a little bit more confidence from negative 100 confidence. It gave me a little bit more confidence. It literally took me like 5% confidence. A little bit less fear, a little bit less darkness, and a little bit more hope. And just that little bit really allowed me to start doing the work. And I knew I had a lot of work to do. So I just went in deep because I knew I couldn't live like this. I knew I didn't want to live like this. So I started facing my fears, facing my issues, going through it. And I promise you, come out such a better person, to the point where I look back on the reason my anxiety flared in that moment. And I thank God for it. I am so grateful that I had anxiety and such a hard time for a little while, because it really made me show up and do my work and get good enough to be where I was. And so without that experience, I wouldn't be me, I wouldn't be where I am. So anyone who is on the journey and has anxiety, I want you to know you're not alone. And just take a step. Just take a step every day, a little bit into your fear, a little bit exposure therapy. You do it for yourself. And I know the journey feels long and it's really scary, but you are not alone. We all have it. I really hope that this helps. I really randomly wanted to bring up this topic because I feel like it feels like such an impediment to have anxiety, but I actually think it can also be a really beautiful thing because you are much more mindful of things, much more mindful of what's important to you, how people show up for you. I remember people showing up for me in a really big way when I had anxiety, more than ever actually, and so I'm really grateful for that. So once you have a relationship with your anxiety, which is also very important, I made friends with my anxiety. I was like, hey, listen, anxiety, I know you're scared. I know you're worried. I don't want to feel this way all the time. Can we come up with some kind of deal where I'm very mindful of your feelings, of your thoughts, of your worries, but I'm not going to give it 100%. You know what I mean? So it's like two sides, two people inside your mind speaking, and you really need to kind of sit down and mediate that conversation and get a hold of it because we still have a rational side of our brain and then we have the irrational, and we need to like come to terms with, we need to make peace with. And anxiety is going to show up with real things that need to be addressed or fixed. So address them, fix them, and your anxiety will subside. Be kind to yourself during that time, even though it's a really hard, dark time. I wish you the best. If you have any questions about anxiety, anything at all, I'm very happy to answer your questions, and/or please find a good psychopharmacologist for medication and therapist. I know today there's great therapy sources that are less expensive and they're more available to most people. So please let me know if you have any questions. Bless you. Take care.